Aha! Welcome back to a series about a series. In this one, I'm going to be pulling the front axle off. Good reason for that is there's a lot of jobs I need doing with it. Enjoy. Before we get into this reassembly, can you please make sure, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Helps the algorithms. If you think you're subscribed, check. Because YouTube are making a right meal of this, I tell you. Thanks to Paul for the hat. Bloody need it. It's freezing. Right, axle is almost out. So, as I said, suspended on the chassis. Got my nice jacking beam underneath the axle because it just levels things up and everything. Undid the dampers, which are down there. They come off these pins. Undid the shackles, which came undone without too many problems. Lots of grease on them. Must lube up before you go in. And then I think bled the brakes down. So just disconnected the rigid pipes. I've taken all of the steering arms off here. Now, you look at the steering box, there is no play in that whatsoever. Absolutely no play. Not even a millimetre. So, that's the main reason I took all these steering joints off. Because Mr. MOT clearly detected excessive play in the steering. I might remove the relay, we'll see. Might not need to. So I'm going to get all these steering arms. That's the arm that goes from the steering box to the relay. Front prop shaft, for which the gator was split, and that's the main reason I took that off, so I could replace the gator on that. Give it a bit of a clean up, check the universal joints on it. And then might need two ends on this, Richard. Probably this proper card over the play. And this should perfect. It's a bit of a counterbalance situation going on. There we go. One axle in its completeness out of the car. Dead easy. Because there's so many bloody jobs to do on this thing, it just made sense to take it out. I could have replaced the springs with the axle in place, but then I need to rebuild the hubs, and I just generally wanted to give it a bit of a clean up as well, so it's going to go outside in a second. We're going to pressure wash it off. I'm not sure that any of these shackles are going to be any good. I'll undo the bolts because they're threaded on the inside shackle. You can see the threads very clearly on that one. Threaded on the inside and not on the outside. Take the nuts off first. Because I'm probably going to replace these springs because they are looking pretty fucking shocking. I'll rebush and I'll replace steering arms, I think, because they just look horrible, and then rebuild the brakes. So pressure wash off first and foremost, and let's see where we are. Well, pressure wash went quite well. That bump stop there isn't looking too healthy, but I think you can get those bits. I will double check tonight. I'm just in the process of dismantling at the moment. So really what I wanted to do was to get the shackles off the ends of the springs if I possibly can, because these are in good order. And also, you know, what's the point of not reusing if we can reuse? So let's just get you set up so you can join in and enjoy the fun. Right, now, where are we? So we are here. And really what I want to do is, I've undone the nut on this end. This end's threaded, that end is not. And we're going to see if we can... That's good. That is out, that one. This one, on the other hand, though, is not looking quite so forgiving. There we are. That Looks like quite a new bolt as well. I'll lob that in the box. Should really be 3/4, shouldn't it? Oh, God's teeth! It's a long way down there. Right, it's going to be 20 mil, which is not in here. I've got a feeling it's not going to release either. I've got a feeling this bolt was rusted in when we did the chassis change, and that was a while ago. So let's get Mr. Big Hammer. That ain't going no place. All right. That is proper in there. Come back to that one. Right, I think what we could probably do is get the springs off. So ignoring that one shackle, let's now take this stand out, pivot the whole lot round, and then we've got the 4 bolts on each of these springs, which look pretty fucked, I'll be honest. I'm going to replace these U-bolts because they're not looking the best. Actually, before that, shall we drain the fluid? We might drain the fluid out of the axle. Maybe a slightly thinner spanner, Richard. Well, I know I've lost weight and all that. I don't know any more spanner jokes I can get in there. Ah, thank you. Once you've got it loose, then the idea is you put the top edge in the slot on the filler plug, and then you can wind it out. I might be taking these swivel balls off and replacing the nuts and bolts as well, because they're all looking a bit on the corroded side. Wonder how much oil there was in there. It's looking a bit gloopy. When you go in like that, you see. This works nicely. Yes, that's not very oily, is it? Now we can have a go at taking these springs off. Can we go that way? We can. There's more light on this side, you see. You come over here. La la la. Right. I might do there is give these threads just a quick clean up. Flat already, that's gone flat. It's also tight as we break a bar. twisting the U-bolt. So I suspect that's just going to snap off in a moment. We'll see. Could always just cut them off if I'm replacing them, but I like to see what I'm using before I start trashing everything. I need to charge my battery up, don't I? Oh, God help us, because that should be able to undo that. Really should be able to do that. Right, there's one U-bolt. That's been on there a while. Let's get the wrench on that. Probably need to get another. Fuck you. Another battery for this impact wrench, because I have been using it quite a lot over the last day, and while it charges up quite quickly, it's a pain for it not to be charged up just when you need it. I think this was the side that had the dodgy bush on the shock absorber. Oh. Oh, springs out, and that gets this off now. Dampest full of water. Oh, snap that off. There you go. That's why you put new U-bolts on. What we have got though is the bottom plates, which again looks quite badly corroded. And then we've got the left-hand spring. Right, that can go over there. Let's get this one off next. And then I could support the axle on stands while I strip down the swivels and the brake drums. Whether this is going to come off or whether I just cut these bolts, I couldn't tell you. This one's broken anyway. Good Lord. I've not even been at this one and it's broken. So I suspect that because I've really not been belting this thing that much, I don't think that I did that. Right. Wire brush. That might have been the shock absorber that was fucked, I reckon. I don't know about you. We'll try and undo these. If they're not going to undo, I'm just going to cut them, because there's no way are we reusing these. Bottom plate off, which is almost entirely dissolved. Spring. He's off. All right. It's all right. Right, let's have a look at these two springs. The leaves on these springs are so thin. I reckon if I dismantled the spring, I would snap that top leaf there. I don't know what's been going on here. I just think that whoever owned this car 20 something years ago just put, and you could see, oh sorry, you can't see because the shackle's on the end there. If I put that on there, in fact, I wonder if that leaf there has just rotted away or never been put back on. I don't know. I don't know anything about Series IIas, but we're learning. Those, I think, are very much scrap. Right, okie dokie. Now, the plan for this now, I think, is to take the swivels, the hubs and everything off the axle. Partly because I want to replace those bolts and sort out what's going on inside. Partly because there are some very deep grooves on the end of the axle. Let me show you. Bum, bum. So here you can see quite a big old groove, and on the other end, big old groove here as well. Now I've got a feeling that it is just part of kind of the casing. You can see where someone's been percussing something there. It's nice to see that it's got the bump stops. So what we could do, we could start with just taking the drums off, I think. Right. Oh, that's refreshing. Right, that one. That one. One down there, there's one down here. A lot of fucking screws. That'll do that. Grubby as fuck. Right, let's see if we can back the shoes off next. Normally fixing on the back of the drum, and there is only one, but then it's only got a single cylinder in it, so let's back that off. Let's see where it goes to after that. Couldn't tell you what size it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Those wheel cylinders don't actually look that old, but very clearly we've had a problem in there. So I think what we're going to do is take the hub off this, because the hub seal needs replacing anyway, and I'm probably going to take the entire back plate off it. So you can go over here, let's say, keep out of my way. Hum, hum, hum. Ba, 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 ba. Oh! Guess it needs busted. There goes. So I want to get clean before it goes back together, folks. So don't start panicking. You absolute gibbon. There we go. Push that in. Ooh, that's encouraging. Well, pins out. I mean, these shoes are absolutely dripping with oil here. So what's happened is the seal on the back of the hub here has failed. And that's all it generally is. Could we find a dirtier box, do we think? Cretin. I don't want to have to replace bearings unless it's absolutely necessary. We've certainly found one of the reasons why we've got a braking balance. That works. Right, then these can come out. Good signs of grease on the back. And then we need to get the drive plate off. Go, it's off. Okay. I can go down there. Because that's all going to get cleaned up anyway. Right, let's get the retainer and the big nuts off. It's not very tight. Someone's knocked it already with a chisel, so excuse me, folks. Someone's not had the big spanner, box spanner, which cost pennies. It's already got lumps taken out of it, so bollocks to it. It's going to get replaced. Out. And this should come out. Tab. Looks like someone's been at that one as well with a chisel. Oh. The problem is when you start bashing them around with chisels, the box spanner rarely fits again. Let's give it a go. No, see, it won't fit. It's going to go on at an angle and I can actually wind it off. Got too much knocked off it for me to do much with. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it's gone on the piss as well. So the other thing is, when you knock these things in with a hammer, you take big lumps off the edge of the nuts, which then sits inside the hub, washing around with the bearing. You're going to have to tell me how that's a good idea. I know some gifted mechanics who work in this way. Fuck me, that's some sharp bits on there. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Right, hub can come off. Now the hub should actually come off at this point. Might need a pry bar in there. Pry bar rather than a hammer. I don't think there's anything else in there. It's locking that in. There may be a big tab washer, in fact. Let's go and have a quick look in there. Yes, I can see it. Yes, there it is. It's a tab washer. Right. What's basically happening is the metal washer is stuck. Probably because some previous ham-fisted fucking gibbon has been in there. Right, it's coming off. Actually just bash it backwards and forwards, there it is. And there's the bearing, which is going to get cleaned up anyway. And there's the tab I was trying to get off, which was wedged in there. Now what can we see? There's a lot of gloopy, rusty shite in here. What I'm inclined to do here is actually just take the back plate off intact. So it looks like just the 6 bolts in there. So let's knock the tabs back. There's locking tabs. Can't fucking see what's going on though, because it is absolutely swimming in it. Fucking hell. What a bag of shite. Oh, you bastard. There's always one in there. Right, let's I have to go and get that out of the device. But in the meantime, this can come off completely. I can sit in there, and the swivel's got the remnants of the oil in it. I think next I want to get these steering joints off before I go too far. That is just disgusting. That's all disgusting. That's all going to get a proper deep cleanse tomorrow before I can work out what on earth it is I'm going to do with it all. These down here, these are going to be 3/4 normally. Yeah, 3/4. That was not 3/4. That is definitely not 3/4. No. That thinks it wants to go on. That's that 17. Makes you wonder how that ever got on there, doesn't it? Okay, we're not playing the game nicely, are we? No, 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 no. Right. Oh, you fucker! If all else fails, get the fucking pipe wrench out. That's fucked. Right, now we need to get these off. So let's have a wee tidy up. That can go, that can go, that can go. Ha ha. One. And two. Dead easy. So I pulled apart the driver's side front hub. Interestingly, no oil in it, which is probably why it's not leaking. Also interestingly, the brake pads are not looking particularly dry in here. I don't think the leak has been as catastrophic, but certainly there would have been limited braking going on this corner here. I need to get the stub axle out to find out what's going on here. On with it. The other thing is the adjuster here utterly seized solid. Cannot shift it. So that'll get replaced along with everything else. So I'll strip down the back plates tomorrow, bin everything that's on there and start again from scratch. Oh, the only things I won't bin perhaps are the eye hooks at the bottom there. I'll order all the bits up and we can build these back plates up as if they're spunking new. And then swivels, I'm not so sure about. I think they're fucked, to be honest. And there's a reasonable chance that's leaked everything out because it's fucked. So I need to get that drive shaft out of there. I'm just cleaned up. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it in the morning. Then I need to move this axle because it is completely in the way. It's going to go over there somewhere or underneath the car while I'm not working on it. Yes. Oh, by the way, this car's called Wesley. My dad called it Wesley. I think after Wesley on Last of the Summer Wine. There you go. I don't know why you call it Wesley. Anyway, it's called Wesley. That clamp ring might have been a clamp ring for just a little bit too long. I don't think I stand much of a chance of getting this ball joint out, but I'm going to give it a go. Or am I? This rod is just fucked. What's the other one like? Oh! This was slightly better. Again, clamp ring is not really up to much. Now the ball joints, you come round here. Right, now this ball joint is seized. Not got excessive wear in it. Because I'm still trying to find out where the excessive play at the steering wheel rim comment came from. Because I've not been able to find that yet. Oh, that one's a bit notchy. That one's notchy. And this one. That one's as loose as a dick in a bucket. So there's probably these two. Right, so I need to get these off. Shave with that. You could shave with that. Can you believe this? This is coming off. I didn't even have to put the 4-foot bar of shame on it. Yes, I think I might still replace this this arm, but it is coming off. So it just shows, doesn't it? Just don't give up on stuff just because someone has very clearly done a nice job of lubing up this joint before it went in. And as you know, chaps, you've got to lube up before you go in. Right, let's see what this end's like. So I've done much the same thing. So we'll clamp the ball joint in the vise. We'll put the grip on again. Unbelievable. Never had one this easy, ever. Just for the sake of a couple of minutes. And the bar might be good. Oh, hello. Your coffee's just fallen off the top. You bastard, you bastard. Yeah, I mean, that all seems bloody ludicrous, really. Absolutely ludicrous. Right, okay. Let's see if I get on all right with the others. Oh, you saw the state of the clips that was holding it all together. I might give it a little bit of just to make my life just a little bit easier. So one left, one right hand threaded. And that comes off. Right, so I've got two other arms I need to play with here. This one was the arm, this is the link from, oh sorry, big squeak. This is the link from the steering relay to the left hand harp. This chappy here is the one that goes from the steering box to the steering relay. I get that one apart. And this is whatever you want to call it, the drag link, the track link, whatever. I'm just going to go and cut these bolts off next. This one actually looks worse than the other one. So I might end up replacing these anyway, but if nothing else, something to do, isn't it? It's the arm that goes to the steering box. Yeah, it wants to live, doesn't it? This one might not actually be that old. It can always be, I'll go through them all, I'll just double check them. Any that can be reused, I will. This end, let's just knock the remains of the clamp off. Oh, this one might be a little bit tighter. It's also wound all the way in, which is interesting. I don't know why it would be like that. put that in there. And oh, this is tighter. Might have found our first one. Nope. There it goes. Because usually I have to, like I say, get this on there and put this bastard on the end of it and lean on it. Don't abuse your tools, chaps. Don't abuse your tools.